there's not a lot of ownership in architecture, even if you're the architect, which should be like the conductor of the whole process, because you are like, you own the base construction documents. Once you like bring in the civil engineer, the structural engineer, electrical engineers, like everybody else that needs to be involved, you're the conductor for the orchestra of that whole thing. But it's really the people that own the project, the developer or the owner of the building that you're doing is really going to direct the final concept, right? And then you propose things that you think might be really good, but no, not in our budget or not our vision, or that's not what we want to do at all. That's why I think maybe like if you are like the developer also, that's like a really good way to be an architect, probably is like you're the developer. You do everything and then it's your building, following your vision. That's like the way to do it.
When was the last time you like marveled at the design or architecture of a building?
Like with honesty. I mean, one time that I do remember thinking this is pretty cool was this cathedral in Dominican Republic. This was not like a colonial cathedral. This was like a modern one. So it was pretty cool. I don't think I've seen a lot of modern cathedrals like this. When I was in school, I was really into this Japanese architect called Sou Fujimoto that does things that look like nightmares to live in, but conceptually are pretty interesting. He had a house that nobody could live in that house. It's, if you made a house out of Jenga puzzle, it's just like big chunks of wood. He had this explanation of comparing a house to a cave versus a nest. And he explained that in the nest, you create a very specific design for a very specific purpose. That's a nest. But he says he likes more the cave because in the cave, you're not designing something with a purpose, but then you find opportunities within the space that you design almost by accident, right? So I thought that was interesting. It's not practical. Nothing that I've seen from this guy is practical, but some people live in his buildings, which is good for them. If you live in his buildings and you get a cast in your leg, you cannot do anything in the house. You have to move.
What would your dream house include?
My dream house would include a patio, like an internal patio. If you look at like haciendas from like colonial times, a house was like a square with a square hole in the middle. I'm thinking of like Frida Kahlo's family house. A space like that would be my dream house. Probably because I like outdoors, but I don't like people. So I can be outdoors without the chance of anybody seeing me.
If I was to commission you
Mm.
to design a home for me, what would be the first question you ask?
What's your budget?
What would be the second question you ask?
Like, what does the household look like? Like, what's the purpose of the house, right? Like, is it for like a couple or like an individual? What's the program? What's the program is the question. That's a word you use in architecture school. That's actually a class. I guess it's like, what's the physical representation of the activities that take place in the building, right? So we had a class around specific building types, not residential versus commercial, but like actual like a restaurant type of building, like the layout for a restaurant, what should it be, right? Versus a hotel versus a music venue. And I just remember we had to like research a specific building type, and everybody went like restaurant, music venue, museum, and I convinced my group, let's be weird, and we we did funeral homes.
Okay.
It was fascinating. Like designing funeral homes is fascinating because you have to have programs for both super public and super private spaces within the same building. You have to have spaces where you have like groups congregating and they have to be like ready for large groups and it has to be nice. And you have to have spaces to like work on the body in the same building and they can never meet. You have to have a clear this like separation between the two spaces. I actually am very proud of that choice because like programmatically it was fascinating. If I was as an architect, maybe I'd like to design funeral homes. That'd be an interesting space.